Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to change oil in your motorcycle. The first thing you want to do is take your bike out for a little bit and warm up the oil. This will get the oil warmed up, and any particles that are left sitting at the bottom will get mixed in thoroughly with the rest of the oil, and it will also make the oil a little bit thinner and easier to come out of the machine. After giving your engine some good time to warm up, you want to bring it into the garage and let it cool down a little bit first. Cool down to where you can touch the engine without burning yourself. So I let mine cool down, and the exhaust is to where I can touch it and I'm not going to get burned. Let's go to underneath and start taking out bolts. So you can see under here we've actually got a cover that we need to remove first. And the first size socket is a 10mm, and this is on a Suzuki DRZ400. So we've got a series of 4 bolts to loosen under here, and we'll take this cover off. And there we go. The whole plate has come off. Just set that aside. Don't forget which bolts go where. The 4 10mm bolts go to the skid plate under here. So now that we're under here, we've got a couple more bolts to take loose. And this is where your oil will actually start coming out. So you've got one 12mm bolt up here. We've got a 14mm bolt right here, and that will let a lot of oil drain out. And this plug here drains the oil out of the frame, because on the DRZ it has a frame oil reservoir. Whoa! Be sure to have your pan ready so that you can catch all the oil, unlike I did. This is usually what happens when I play around with oil on my motorcycle or car. So, oh well. And one more plug that you're going to want to pull is kind of a detailed one. Right there, you've got the hose, and then you've got another bolt that you can pull loose here. But this, you take this plug out, and there's a filter, a little wire screen filter up inside of the frame. And if you pull that out, you can clean that out and get your oil even more cleaned out. And then you've got a number of washers, and make sure you keep track of everything and keep it all in order. First, take the hose clamp loose on here, and then you can pull the hose off of it. So the socket that you need is a pretty big one. It's a 15/16. I had to go digging deep for that one. That's not that bad. Not too much dirt on there. I'm still going to blow it out a little bit just to make sure. And I'd put that back in right now, where it belongs. Tighten it back down. So now we come over to the side, where we'll take off the filter cover and another oil drain right here. So move the pan to catch the oil, at least oil that's left over that I didn't spill over there on the floor. The plug down here, you want to release the oil out of here first, because it drains all the oil out of the oil filter. And then the oil filter cover is a 10mm. You take all those screws off. And there's the filter. And then I like to clean this out. And then wipe off the rest of the frame, get stuff all cleaned up so it's not drips all over the place. On the oil filter, you have the O-ring, small O-ring that goes there. And then on your oil filter cap, the big O-ring goes in there. And then there's a little arrow on the cap that shows that this way is up. So that's how you know which way to put it on the bike. So I put it back in. Take your little rubber O-ring, stick it inside in that little piece on the inside there. Stick it on the outside edge of that. You take your filter, stick it in there, it lines up, put the cap on with the little arrow pointing up, line up with the bolts on the outside edge, and put on all of your bolts. And you also want to put in your plug down under here. So on the DRZ400, the filling cap and dipstick are in the frame, in the steering area. Sometimes it's easier to pour it in if you use a funnel. Honda Bottle 2. There. I think that's about right. Maybe a little bit too much, but and then you want to roll it outside so you can start it up and let the oil work its way in. So you just want to let that run for a little while, probably about 5 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes, anywhere around there. Let it run the oil through the engine, and then we can check the level with the dipstick and see how we did. So on the DRZ400s, you check the oil with the engine running, and you got to sit on the bike so that you can have it level. And one thing you want to do is when you're warming it up, do not twist the throttle. Just let it sit and idle. Pull it out, wipe it off, dip it in, pull it out, and I am perfect. Couldn't have got any better than that. So there you go. Now you know how to change the oil in your motorcycle. And you can save money by not having to go to the shop and pay someone else to do it. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Check out some of my other videos. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching.